Okay, this is lesson number 2, The Goat Adventure, additional reading from the workbook, Packing for a Trip. I started the packing. It seemed a longer job than I had thought it was going to be. But I got the bag finished at last and sat on it and strapped it. "Aren't you going to put the boots in?" said Harris. I looked around and found I had forgotten them. That's just like Harris. He never said a word till I had got the bag shut and strapped, of course. I opened the bag and packed the boots in. And then, just as I was going to close it, a horrible idea occurred to me. Had I packed my toothbrush? I don't know how it is, but I never do know whether I have packed my toothbrush or not. My toothbrush is a thing that haunts me when I'm traveling and makes my life miserable. I dream that I haven't packed it and wake up in cold perspiration and get out of bed and hunt for it. And in the morning, I pack it before I have used it and have to unpack again to get it. It is always the last thing I turn out of the bag. And then I repack and forget it and have to rush upstairs for it and at the last moment and carry it to the railway station wrapped up in my pocket handkerchief. Of course, I had to turn everything out now, and of course, I could not find it. I rummaged the things up into much the same state that they must have been in before the world was created and chaos reigned. Of course, I found George's and Harris's toothbrushes 18 times over, but I couldn't find my own. I put the things back one by one and held everything up and shook it. Then I found it inside a boot. I repacked once more. When I had finished, George asked if the soap was in. I said I didn't care whether the soap was in or not. I slammed the bag and strapped it. I got it shut finally at 10 o'clock at night, and then the hampers remained. Harris thought that he and George had better do them. I agreed and sat down, and they had a go. I looked at the pile of plates and cups and kettles and bottles and jars and pies and stoves and cakes and tomatoes, etc., and felt that the thing would soon become exciting. It did. They started with breaking a cup. That was the first thing they did. Then Harris packed the strawberry jam on top of a tomato and squashed it, and they had to pick out the tomato with a teaspoon. And then it was George's turn, and he trod on the butter. After he had got it off his slipper, they tried to put it in the kettle. It wouldn't go in, and what was in wouldn't come out. They did scrape it out at last and put it down on a chair. And Harris sat on it. It stuck to him. And they went looking for it all over the room. "I'm telling you, I put it down on that chair," said George, staring at the empty seat. "I saw you do it myself not a minute ago," said Harris. Then they started round the room again looking for it, and then they met again in the center and stared at one another. "Most astonishing thing I ever heard of," said George. "So mysterious," said Harris. Then George got round at the back of Harris and saw it. "Why, here it was all the time!" he exclaimed. "Where?" cried Harris, spinning around. "Stand still, can't you?" roared George, flying after him. And they got it off and packed it in the teapot. The packing was finally done at 12:50 in the night. It's an extract from Three Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome.